but we'll do that. No, we'd like to do that, but probably 6th and 8th would be good.
Okay, thanks. Have a good afternoon.
What Craig failed to mention is that Villeneuve's been off 3 times at least this weekend, and having a lot of problems, twice into the gravel trap and stranded, and another big spin at the Vidal chicane this morning. So Villeneuve on the ragged edge, trying to eke a little bit more out of his BAR and really keep in touch with Panis. But I do agree there with Craig. Villeneuve's tended to have the slight pace when he's managed to keep it on the road.
Frank Williams there, Sir Frank Williams I should call him. Very happy he was too at the end of the Canadian Grand Prix. I was in his garage, and the smile was as broad as you could possibly imagine. He really does believe that in Ralf Schumacher he's found a very special driver, a driver who's maturing, becoming just the kind of guy that Williams liked. And no mistakes, Martin, that was the amazing thing. Montreal and Imola, flawless drives, both of them.
Yeah, but how fickle is this game of Formula One as you're looking down on the old Nürburgring circuit, the Nordschleife as it's called, through the trees there, and we have a runner. But how fickle is this business? Remember the second half of last year when Jenson Button really was showing Ralf Schumacher the way home. Everybody started to question Ralf Schumacher. Now he's the hot ticket and they want to pay him tens of millions of dollars. But be sure of absolutely one thing. The numbers you hear about and read about are false for how much these drivers get paid. They get paid a lot of money, but the numbers somehow or other take on a life of their own when they start getting bandied around.
Wishful thinking more than anything else. A huge Mexican wave from this largely German crowd here. A few Italians have made the journey, quite a few Dutch people here as well, and not too many Brits, I'm afraid, here at the Nürburgring this weekend. But Tarso Marques for the European Minardi team out on the circuit, and we were entertained for dinner on Thursday night by Paul Stoddart, who runs the Minardi team. He was telling me that this has certainly proved to be more difficult than he expected it to be when he took over the team over the winter. It was a tough job to get this team together, to get them to Australia for the first race, but they're giving away a lot in horsepower, they're giving away a lot in chassis. The designer, Gustav Brunner, jumped ship a few months ago and went to the new Toyota outfit, who will be joining Formula One next year, and the whole thing is just not gelling. If anything, they're falling behind a little bit the rest of the field. Yeah,
in the second half of the season, which we're now heading into, the lesser teams do tend to fall away from the pace. Like, they don't have the development budget, they don't have the R&D, they start cutting down on testing because they're over budget, and it's a vicious circle. And Nick Heidfeld there, you saw walking down. Nicky Lauda, of course, the boss man of the PAG group. And Marquez then already with a technical problem out on the racetrack down at what must be the Vidal chicane.
Yes, he's at the Vidal chicane, and the engine is running. There's smoke coming out of the back of it, and he's not going anywhere fast. Perhaps he's not got drive, but he's in a dangerous place there because it's right on the end of the braking zone, and it's a very fast, about 180 miles an hour coming into that spot, and he's rolling backwards now.
Yeah, if he can't find drive, he has found drive, so that's a strange situation, but the engines cook so quickly in that situation. A Formula One car is very, very close to the edge on cooling when it's doing 150 miles an hour. When it's stationary, there are no fans whatsoever in there. It relies purely on the air going through the side pods to cool the car, and literally within 30 seconds you'll cook the engine. But Marquez deciding to, that was the outlap where he had the problem, so he decided to carry on this run, of course limited to 12 laps in total, and an outlap and an in-lap would spoil his runs completely.
Yes, the Minardi's on average about 3 seconds a lap off the pace of the front runners. Certainly expect to see that sort of form repeated today. And Marquez himself, well, there's only one of the 8 Grand Prix we've had so far this year when he wasn't 22nd and last on the grid, and that was when he finished 21st on the grid. But generally speaking, he is the guy who props up the rest of the field. But he's going out and just checking it all out. Got a bit high on the curve there, Martin.
Yeah, he took way too much curve. There's no point. That's a flat out in top gear, 160 mile an hour chicane. That is not the place you want to be, perched up on top of a curb. And, you know, I've said it before. I mean, Marquez, he's not a world-class driver, should not really be in Formula One. But, you know, the team needs some drivers, obviously drivers that bring along some money. I admire Paul Stoddart enormously for his commitment to Formula One. But at the end of the day, I'm sure if he could, he would like to put somebody of a better quality in the car than Tarso Marques, who comes into the Coca-Cola corner through now to complete that first lap. He did a 20.2 this morning, and it's a 20.7 this afternoon. We'll be back shortly.